Okay, let's rock and roll. 3, 4, let's do it. Matrices. I went over this in extreme detail on what to do on how to multiply to solve, and we use a calculator. Now, we're gonna do two things. We're gonna make sure, if you feel courageous, do it by hand. How does this look like? Well, let's fix this equation real quick. Don't forget to multiply. It's a column times a row, column times a row, column times a row. So my first set is negative 2x times 1y, or plus 1y, I apologize, negative 1z equals the leftover 3. Second equation, column, row, 1x plus 3y minus 2z equals leftover 2. Okay. Last thing, column, row, 3x plus 1y, and there's no z, equals negative 6. Why is there no z on this third equation? Because that's a 0 right there. I don't need to put anything there since it does not exist. And I challenge you to do this by hand because we just did on the previous problem. But I know for time's sake, we're gonna use a calculator. We're doing the matrices. Don't forget, I'm gonna just rewrite this. So if you wanna fast forward, you can. Make sure you have your calculator on hand. Make sure it's reset while I finish writing this. Okay. Very important. I got my calculator here. I'm gonna make sure I reset it by pressing second plus sign 712. It is cleared, and now I have my matrices. Okay. I need to remember I need to define everything. This is matrix A. This is X equals my B. What do we need to do? We need to find the unknown, which is my X, Y, Z. So how do I do that? Find the inverse of A times B. We did this together. I know y'all had a lot of good effort on doing the videos and additional word problems. So, go into my calculator. Wish it was a little bigger, but that's okay. Clear it. I need to go to the matrix part. Matrix is right here, right under math. I'm gonna press second matrix. Gonna go to the edit piece. Edit A. Size 3 by 3. 3 rows, 3 columns. Input this. Negative 2, 1, negative 1, 3, negative 2. Again, if you need to pause, pause. 3, 1, 0. Making sure my A looks exactly like my A in my calculator. Next piece, I need the B. Second, matrix. I'm going to edit because I need to put my B. Rows, columns. Oh, so my bad. Let me go back. Sorry. Rows, columns. 3 rows, 1 column. 3 rows, 1 column. 3, 2, negative 6. And we're good to go. I identified my A, I identified my B. Now we solve. I don't need to worry about this piece, the X equals, so let me just rewrite it. So we're about to find out what it is. My unknown of X, Y, Z equals to the multiplication of A inverse. So how do I put that? I'm gonna do second matrix, enter, because A is right there. So I'm gonna enter. I'm gonna put exponent -1, which is right here, the matrix button, times matrix B, second matrix, go down B, enter. There it is, just like how I wrote it. Enter. There are my values. I challenge you, do this by hand because the calculator gave me the answers. But I challenge you, do it by hand, please. The answer is B. Right? Because we got X, Y, Z. Very good. Moving on. What statement is true? This is talking about domain and range. Hopefully you remember this from Algebra 1. Domain is always X. Range is always Y. So we just need to make sure we're looking at what we're supposed to. Before we start analyzing X and Y axes, I do want us to see, okay, what directions is this graph going in? So I have continuous arrows going on forever and ever, infinity. And they're going, we have to see if it's going up, down, left, or right. This graph is going to the right and the left. It is also going up. Nothing is going down, but I know for sure it's going to the right, it's going to the left, and it's going up. Here we go. So for domain, if I'm looking at domain, I'm analyzing domain. Looking only at the x-axis. Not looking at the y, I'm only looking at the x numbers. And I see that this graph is going on forever and ever. It's not being restricted. It's touching all of my x values. They're my children, they're my students. It's called all real numbers. It is not being bounded. It is not being stopped. These arrows are saying it's going on forever and ever. If it was bounded, if it told me stop here, then I would look at those values and say, okay, it's being bounded between this number and this number, but in this case, the arrows are going on forever and ever. My range. Just because we're learning a little extra right here. My range is going up. It's not going down, it's going up. But it's starting at this value right here. So because it's going up, it's increasing from the origin of 0, 0. And I should know that this is my y value. The way I would write this is my range is y increasing means greater than equal to 0. Okay? Again, because the arrows are going up forever and ever. If I had a bottom piece and then it got restricted right here, then we would say, okay, it's being bounded from 0 to whatever number is being bounded. But because of those arrows, it's going on forever and ever. Answer choices. The domain is all real numbers. That looks great. No, because it's not being bounded. This could be right if this was a 0. Don't forget that f of x is also y. But that's not right. And the range right here, this is saying it's being bounded by 2 spots, which is not correct. Questions, comments, concerns, email me, s4@alltheiz.org. Okay. Very interesting. This will be the last problem for this video. Absolute value functions. I've seen a bunch of y'all already on this section on Matthew, which is great. This is T-test, not TSI. If you do it by hand, that's gonna get you ready for college. So what would I do if I was doing this by hand? I'm gonna grab the first function, I'm gonna make a table. But I'll make a weird table. I'm gonna have X as my starting point. I'm gonna have a lot of work, and then I'm gonna have my Y, because this is my input, gets into the machine, output. Which one am I using first? Letter A. So yes, you would be making 4 tables if necessary. Letter A, I'm gonna switch that f of x to y equals the absolute value of 100x. Don't forget, if something's in the absolute value, it turns positive automatically. The only time it would be negative if there's a negative value on the outside. Here we go. Starting with 0. 0. Y equals the absolute value of 100, parentheses 0, absolute value 100 times 0, absolute value of 0 is 0. So my Y value is 0. Checks off. Looks great. 1. Y equals the absolute value of 100, parentheses 1 with the absolute value. 100 times 1 is 100. It's already positive, so the absolute value of a positive 100 is 100. Excellent. 100. Looks good to me. Next, I could jump to 2, but I'm going to jump to -1 just to see if I'm already on the right track. Y equals absolute value of 100 times -1, absolute value. 100 times -1 is -100, but it's in the absolute value, which turns positive, so it's a positive 100. It looks great. Not gonna waste our time. Letter A is our answer. But what's the importance of this? You need to be able to do this by hand, because this is on TSI. You'll be doing this next year at Aldine Senior, so I need you to be able to practice substituting, solving in a table to match the graph. Easier way, using Desmos. Get that function, type it right here. You have Desmos on your phone. Just Safari it, just Google it. It'll pop up. Make sure it's the Texas EOC version, just to make sure you're giving yourself the full Bennett. Absolute value button is right here. 100x. Looks funky right there, so I'm gonna see what I can do to fix it. I wish I could fix it. Oh, settings. So I saw our x-axis was going in steps of 1. Y values are going in steps of 100. Still not what I like. Ooh. I don't know why I did that. Oh, I'm stretching it. Okay, it's not what I like. It's not looking good to me. So I'm gonna go back to the idea of a table. I can grab these points, put them in a table, change this function into a table, settings, table, there we go. It looks exactly what that is. 0 to 0 is there, 1 100, 2 200, so on and so forth. So you're just matching the table to the values. That Desmos will make our life a little easier. Let's keep going. Oh no, I said cut after this one. Okay, next video, part B, will be the